This is a story not only about what happened, but how it was allowed to happen. The warning signs were there.
My ex-husband is a scary guy, so I just wanted to make sure he was not going to be there.
The fear was reported to police over and over.
I got a lot.
The tension, the anger, the resentment kept building.
Again, with the restraining order, same as the last restraining order.
No guns, no contacts.
Until it escalated to murder.
Oh my God.
Not just of one person, but three. I'm Kristen Thorne, and this is Law&Crime Investigates. Mary Ponzer and Nathan Gingles met during their time in the Army. Mary was in her mid-20s, Nathan in his 30s. They both were captains, and Nathan, in fact, was a decorated one and was one of several soldiers awarded a Meritorious Unit Award for his service in Operation Enduring Freedom in Afghanistan in 2013 and 2014. In 2018, the two get married. At first, they lived together in Germany. In 2020, Mary gives birth to a little girl, and in 2022, they settle down in Tamarac, Florida, which is near Fort Lauderdale. Neighbors say they would try to interact with the couple, but they really kept to themselves, not even returning a friendly wave hello. Neighbors think they're just incredibly private, but unbeknownst to them, terror inside the home is unfolding. Law enforcement was made aware. We can see it in a February 2024 restraining order Mary files against Nathan. 33-year-old Mary writes, quote, "He's saying that he was going to shoot me and there was nothing I could do about it. I'm afraid Nathan will kill me and my daughter." She tells the court about the 20 or so guns Nathan has in the house, some with silencers. Police seize the weapons. Nathan moves out of the house and into an apartment. A week and a half later, Mary files for divorce and seeks full custody of their daughter. Nathan fires back, saying he should have full custody of their daughter, alleging that Mary has a history of mental illness and exhibits erratic, harmful, and violent behavior. He calls the restraining order against him frivolous. In July 2024, Mary makes a surprising decision. She rescinds the restraining order and negotiates a no harmful contact order with Nathan, meaning he can't stalk, harass, or threaten Mary. But that also means Nathan is allowed to have all his guns back. In September, police records show that Nathan contacted police saying that he was missing 3 silencers and he believed Mary had them. Under the no harmful contact order, Mary is given sole possession of the home, meaning Nathan can't come into and out of the house as he pleases without Mary's permission. Well, that doesn't sit well with Nathan, and he proceeds to fight in court to get access to the house in an effort to retrieve all his stuff. He doesn't, though, want Mary at the house when that happens. In November 2024, a judge denies that request. As for their daughter, Mary and Nathan are sharing custody at this point. That's also not going smoothly. Mary alleges in court documents that when her daughter returns from spending time with Nathan, her daughter tells her that Nathan keeps saying he's going to kill mommy. And then in October, Mary is reviewing some of Nathan's financial receipts and she notices a strange purchase. She Googles the name of the company and discovers that it's a tracking company. Her attorney advises her to check her car for a tracker, and she finds one. She notifies the Broward Sheriff's Office repeatedly, informing them that she has a court order that says Nathan isn't supposed to stalk or harass her. Certainly having a tracker on a car would amount to harassment. But police never take action against Nathan. On December 27th, Mary is away from her house when she gets a notification from a security camera inside her home. She calls police.
Well, hi.
Hi. We're at your residence. There's nobody here. What was going on?
My ex-husband entered the home all the way of like a heated agreement saying that I have sole possession and use of the home. And then I had called in like a month and a half ago a report about finding a tracker on my car because I found a GPS tracker on a car that I bought like post-divorce, solely my property, that you could pretty well suss out that he placed it on there because I have a financial transaction from him and his financial disclosure that's from a company called Happen, which is an asset tracking company. Anyway, I assume that he stole that back. But I don't know. So I don't know. But he knows where it is, and he went in the home, and I don't know. He's a scary guy, so I just wanted to make sure he was not going to be there while I was right there.
Do you have a restraining order against him?
I did, and then I dropped it for a mediated agreement, like an idiot.
Yeah, I recommend if you're, scared of him to get that restraining. Because he has keys, he has belongings, so it's not like he's breaking into the home and taking things, you know what I mean?
I don't know what else to do.
If you're scared, I recommend, getting a restraining order once everything's completely done. Like, he has all of his belongings out of the house is yours. He has no means to come back. Get that restraining order and don't drop it, okay?
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you finish that. That way he can't come back here and you don't have to worry about him at all. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have any other questions?
No, thank you so much for calling and for checking.
Alright, no problem. Have a great day.
All right, you too, bye.
When Mary gets home, she finds several upstairs windows open and a ladder behind some bushes. She then reviews the footage from the surveillance camera, and it looks as if Nathan came to the home with a backpack, but left without it. She calls 911.
Hi, my name is Mary Gingles. I called on Friday. This is not an emergency, so I want to make sure I'm not taking up phone time. I think I need to make an informational report. I called on Friday because my ex-husband entered a home that we have a court order saying that I have full use and possession of. And he was wearing a backpack. I had security cameras, and you can tell he's carrying something. And I was looking through the footage, and I noticed he left something in the house. I report every time I find something. So you let me know what I should do. I just don't know what else to do because I got a loss. And obviously the current court order is not doing anything.
All right, I entered a call for dispatch, and we're going to have a deputy respond over to meet with you.
Mary finds the backpack in her garage. It's filled with tons of suspicious items like zip ties, garbage bags, gloves, and rags. She calls police again. They respond and take a report documenting everything in the backpack. On December 30th, Mary seeks another restraining order against Nathan and writes in her petition, quote, "He has already taken steps to prepare to murder me. He will attempt this before the lease is up at the end of February." On January 6, 2025, an officer goes to Nathan's apartment to execute the restraining order.
So anyways, a person, you got your pen and everything ready to go. My goodness. You've done this before.
Once. It was enough, but here we are again.
All right. So a person named Mary, same last name as you.
Yep.
Petition to court, got a temporary restraining order. So it's the same.
Yep.
Okay. Again, with the restraining order, same as the last restraining order.
No guns,
Or any
no
other
contacts,
No.
500 feet or something like that.
Okay, yeah. So you already know I was going to go real quick with you. You hit the nail on the head. No guns, ammunition, permits, none of that. Do you have any children?
Yep, she kidnapped her the first time and then filed false DV and then had to drop it because she couldn't, her deposition, she perjured herself, but they didn't do it to her. So.
Oh my goodness, so another one. Okay.
Documented mental health issues, documented substance
I'm
abuse.
sorry to hear that.
When they
Okay. I know you're. Whatever.
I know.
I just got to go over it. Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So just make sure you attend the hearing. Okay.
Cool, easy.
That's it. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Thanks so much.
All right. You don't need to sign or nothing. Okay. All right. Well, best of luck. Okay, sir. Thank you.
On January 10th, 2025, Mary makes what would be her final phone call to police. She calls to check on whether they're going to follow up on the trackers she found on her car or the fact that she believed Nathan broke into her house through an upstairs window, both violations of the court's no harmful contact order.
Good afternoon. My name is Mary Gingles. I was just calling to check on the status of a few open cases, or at least I think they're open. Can I do that?
Okay, is this in reference to your husband coming onto your property while you're having a restraining order?
Well, so two things. One is that I have a case number on. That was in October.
Are you requesting for officers to call you or meet with you in person for an update?
A phone call is fine, but then also can I check the status on the other one with the entering the home? Just because I want to know, because they said they may be back, and I don't know if there are any charges that it could be associated with that, but I would like to know.
Okay, I went ahead and placed the call in for service. I referenced in both cases.
It's unclear if police ever followed up with Mary Gingles. But we know between February 2024 and January 2025, Mary called the Broward Sheriff's Office 14 times about Nathan's behavior. Even Nathan's colleagues are growing concerned about him. He's got a good-paying job as an IT defense contractor, but his coworkers say Nathan is taking a lot of time off from work to deal with his divorce, and the bosses aren't happy, and they think Nathan was aware he was probably about to get fired. While they are just concerned about Nathan, Mary is downright scared. She starts telling her friends that one day Nathan is going to kill her, and they're going to be doing interviews with the news about how Mary knew it was going to happen. She started carrying a gun in her purse. She also starts staying up late at night, keeping watch over her driveway and her house, making sure Nathan doesn't show up. She decides to enlist the help of her father, David Ponzer. Ponzer agrees to stay at Mary's house to help protect her and his granddaughter. On February 16, 2025, just as Mary Gingles predicted before the end of their lease in February, all hell broke loose. According to investigators, at 5:40 a.m., Nathan arrives to the neighborhood on this scooter. He locks it up and then waits for about 20 minutes outside Mary's home. Around 6 a.m., Ponzer is sitting on Mary's back patio having his morning cigarette and a cup of coffee when, according to police, Nathan shoots him in the head. The first 911 call comes from a neighbor who comes in around 6:01 a.m.
There's gunshot wounds on the next street. Oh my God. Boom, 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 boom. And I heard it several more times. How many times would you say? I probably heard it like 4 rounds less than a minute ago.
Mary and Nathan's 4-year-old daughter is sitting just inside the house on the couch watching the entire thing unfold. Investigators say that an armed Nathan then goes into the house looking for Mary. He finds her. They struggle inside the house. Mary runs outside. Police say Nathan tases her and drags her back inside the house. Mary is able to escape and runs outside again. Surveillance footage shows Mary running to find help. Nathan, investigators say, is close behind with a pistol in his left hand and then running, screaming, their barefoot 4-year-old daughter pleading for her father to stop. Mary is banging on her neighbors' doors. Neighbors are calling 911, reporting hearing gunshots and a woman screaming for help.
Do you see anybody outside shooting or anything like that? No, I haven't seen anything with my eyes, but I'm almost certain that I heard screaming and it's like a popping noise. It could have been shooting.
We are now receiving a second complaint advising that a woman is screaming and possible gunshots as well.
Finally, a door opens. It's to her neighbor, Andrew Farron's house. Andrew's relative lets her in. Mary bolts up the stairs seeking shelter and ends up in Farron's bedroom. He's fast asleep in bed. Prosecutors say Nathan Gingles immediately starts shooting, blasting at least 10 bullets. He shoots Andrew in the neck and then Mary several times in the head, killing both of them, all in front of their little 4-year-old girl. Police say Nathan then walked around the neighborhood with his daughter running behind him. Officers with the Broward Sheriff's Office, even after receiving reports of gunfire, do not rush to the scene. Instead, they stage together just outside the neighborhood, which is in direct violation of the department's training and policy. Investigators say Nathan then kidnapped his child, put her in his car, and drove away. Police put out an Amber Alert. Initially, Mary is listed as missing as well because police don't know where she is. They bring in a canine, which tracks Mary's scent to Andrew Farron's front door. Officers enter and find Mary and Andrew shot to death. Now the hunt is really on for Nathan Gingles. They ping Nathan's phone. It's coming from a nearby apartment building. Police race there, locate the apartment, and break through the front door. Nathan's phone is on the kitchen counter. The apartment, eerily, is empty. No furniture, nothing in the refrigerator or the cabinets. But what they do find is chilling. Bags packed, camping equipment, little girls' clothes and shoes, and a ton of cash. They also find a calendar, which seems to count down the days to February 16th, the day of the murders. Police start looking for Nathan's silver BMW, and within hours, they find it in a local Walmart parking lot. They wait for Nathan to come out of the store, and then they pounce.
Hey, I got hands, I got hands, I got hands, I got hands, I got hands. Ow. We got get your hands. Ow. Hey, get in cuffs, get in cuffs. I'm gonna get shot.
Police find Mary and Nathan's daughter in the car. Thankfully, she isn't harmed. Officers on scene at that point still don't know where Mary is. According to police records, they asked the little girl, "Where is your mommy?" She responds, "Daddy killed mommy. Mommy is laying in blood." She later tells investigators that her father told her she would never see her mother or grandfather again, and they were going to visit her cousin in Texas. While Nathan is on his way to the police precinct, detectives are processing the bloody crime scene spread out over the neighborhood. They're also looking for evidence, mainly discarded weapons. They use drones to survey the shallow lakes in the neighborhood. Divers are called in to search. They use metal detectors and locate 2 sets of handcuffs. They also find a gun holster. Then they find a handgun with the silencer still attached about 7 feet down in one of the lakes. Nathan is brought to the precinct for questioning.
So basically, we want to talk about what's going on this morning. We want to hear your side of the story. And basically you explain, your thought process and what happened. We're not here to judge. We're only seeing one side, and we want to hear from you. That's basically it.
Yeah, so, like she explained, so, you've been respectful. I hope I've been respectful, so we're having a conversation. That's what we're going to do. So we're here to ask questions, but we also going to answer questions if you have them as well.
Correct.
So we're hoping for just an open dialogue. But before we can do that, you are here in cuffs. So before we can talk and have that conversation, we got to read you your Miranda rights. Have you ever read those before?
No. And knowing and understanding your rights, are you willing to speak to us without an attorney present?
I'd like to request an attorney. Okay,
All right, that's fine.
Officers return hours later to take a DNA swab from him. Nathan Gingles is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder as well as child abuse and kidnapping. He has pleaded not guilty to all charges. Police begin to dig deeper into Nathan's life. They find a storage unit filled with guns. They also learned that Nathan wasn't living at this apartment at all. He was staying in a hotel. Simultaneously, there's a whole other investigation happening which has nothing to do with Nathan Gingles. It's the Broward Sheriff's Office investigating itself for its failure to address Mary Gingles' repeated calls for help in the year leading up to her murder. Sheriff Gregory Toney had some choice words for his department just 3 days after the murders.
This is just a matter of what I've seen of piss poor performance, complacency. We fell short in a response in terms of how some of the patrol personnel had documented certain facts related to calls going back to December. It's clear that some of the investigative practices conducted by detectives was also a shortfall. There will be people that will lose their job over this.
The sheriff initially suspends 7 deputies and then takes a closer look at what happened that day. Why did his officers stage a meeting place just outside the neighborhood instead of rushing in to help, as they're trained and required to do? It's an issue that has haunted the department for years. During the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School mass shooting in Parkland, Florida in 2018, deputies with the Broward Sheriff's Office stalled before entering the building. 19-year-old Nicholas Cruz killed 17 people and injured 17 others. Several deputies were fired for neglect of duty. One of them, Scott Peterson, faced criminal charges, including child neglect, for not running into the building. According to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, the agency tasked to investigate Peterson's actions, Peterson's inaction that day cost people their lives. A jury later acquitted Peterson on all criminal charges, but he, as well as the Broward Sheriff's Office, is still facing civil action from the victims' families for their response that day. The year prior, in 2017, the department was heavily criticized for not coordinating and communicating effectively after a mass shooting at the Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, which left 5 dead. After those 2 incidents, the Broward Sheriff's Office lost its accreditation. The department refined its policies, improved and increased its training, and yet some officers still failed to respond correctly to the scene in Tamarac in 2024. The sheriff wasn't shy about calling out his officers' missteps in a play-by-play press conference held after the department's own 7-month-long internal affairs investigation.
But as you can see, a couple units bypassed the residency and took a staging position per the sergeant's instruction and decided to rally out there. That's not within policy, that's not within procedures, that's not what we train. They should have went straight to the house. At this point in time, what you're going to see in the upper right screen is video footage of Sergeant Allen arriving on scene, turning his lights off, at which point both the suspect and the daughter passes his vehicle.
It's even called in. Nathan and his daughter walking around the neighborhood. Nathan in all black and his daughter without any shoes on. A strange sight at 6 in the morning, yet no officer stops them.
They're here at the southbound on East Grand Circle. So I know it's just related at this time. Just finally got a lot of walking around at this time of the morning. And she had a machine on.
The sheriff explains that the first officer to arrive on scene was an officer who was not even from Tamarac.
We have a deputy K-9 officer who is coming from outside of the city who heard this call. I believe he was in Deerfield Beach, and he ran code 3 across 4 different cities to arrive on this scene, and that is him running lead or point as he passed the sergeant with an additional backup unit who recognized this isn't a staging incident. This is something where no one should be sitting around. You can hear the frustration in the K-9 officer's voice, as well as his colleague out there, not understanding why all these deputies are standing around and not pushing the contact. And he's 100% right. I can train you, I can supply you, I can give you all the tools to be successful. What I can't coach is courage and effort. And if you're going to sign up for this profession, you better make sure you have both of those first, or don't join this profession.
The department fired 8 deputies and disciplined 21 others for the way they handled Mary's case and the murders that day. The union representing the terminated deputies is fighting to get their jobs back with back pay. Meanwhile, Nathan Gingles remains in jail. We obtained some of his many jail calls. He appears to be speaking with a friend or family member in Texas. Initially, Nathan appears to be pretty calm and unbothered, more annoyed by the charges he's facing.
Still in isolation. I was just playing this suicide watch. So, yeah, hopefully next week should be out of the isolation. Get blessed with media people and stuff.
No, I got an email this morning, which was weird because it was to my Hotmail, which I never use. And it was someone from the Miami Herald. It was like, oh, you're on the witness list. And I was like, what? I was like, witness list? I'm like, I was in Texas, man. I didn't witness anything.
Oh, yeah. Basically ignore any and all. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't plan on talking to anybody.
Yeah. Good plan. Good plan.
But as time goes on, Nathan's tone changes.
Criminals set me up, and criminals are trying to crucify me and child traffic my daughter, so good time. I'm fighting their charges. All lies, but whatever.
He believes that everyone is against him, including his own attorneys.
I'll be talking to my attorneys again Tuesday, but basically massive conflict of interest. They basically ignored everything. They're basically working with the prosecutor against me, so that's an issue we'll be addressing next week.
Nathan's attorneys recently asked a judge to be removed from his case, citing irreconcilable differences to an extreme degree. Nathan was essentially accusing his attorneys of being in cahoots with prosecutors. The judge granted the request and appointed a new attorney. We reached out to that attorney, but didn't hear back. New York-based criminal defense attorney James Pasquarella, who is not involved in this case, says whoever represents Nathan Gingles is going to face an uphill battle.
I think that the evidence in this case is overwhelming from what I see. You have witnesses who see him running and chasing. You have video surveillance. That starts to really build a case against him. You have a lot of evidence that leads to premeditation. You have the threats ahead of time. You have a bag that was found that had zip ties and things like that in it. You have him chasing them down. Those all show premeditation, because premeditation doesn't have to be some elaborate scheme. Premeditation can be within moments before you decide to do it. But I do think there's the possibility of other defenses, such as not responsible by reason of insanity. Florida has a pretty strict standard. Their standard is beyond extreme emotional distress and things of that nature. You have to show real mental illness, schizophrenia, delusion, things like that.
How does a plea deal play into this?
A plea deal is a possibility, and the fact that a defendant may want to avoid the death penalty may be a reason, an incentive to take some sort of a plea.
As of this recording, the death penalty is still on the table for Nathan Gingles. While the Tamarac community continues to mourn the incredible loss and trauma that happened here, some legislators are taking action. Florida Representative Robin Bartleman recently introduced a bill that would have forced police to seize Nathan Gingles' guns when they went to tell him, only a few weeks before the shooting, that Mary was filing a restraining order against him. The bill says if someone like Nathan Gingles has an injunction, a protective order filed against them, police are now forced to seize their weapons. They can't just remind people of the policy. Andrew Farron's family is supporting the bill.
This bill says no more loopholes and no more taking chances with the lives of our survivors.
And then in March 2026, the Florida House of Representatives unanimously passed a bill that would force people who violate a protective order to be on GPS monitoring. It means that when Nathan had allegedly broken into Mary's house through an upstairs window and on a separate occasion allegedly placed a tracker on her car, her complaints to police could have resulted in police putting Nathan on a GPS monitor. Florida Representative Deborah Tendrich, a domestic violence survivor herself, is behind the bill.
And this year, members, I will reflect on how my survivor story led me to bring forward a bill designed to help save lives across our state for those who are walking in the same shoes that I once wore.
Representative Bartleman spoke during the House vote and reiterated not only her support for the bill, but Andrew Farron's family's support for it as well.
Andrew's uncle, George David, came to me and said, why didn't that animal have a GPS monitoring? Why aren't we doing something? And then I read your bill. And I said, guess what? Somebody's already taking care of this. Because this was a repeat offender. This is someone who should have had his guns taken away. And if he was on a GPS monitor, it would have made a difference. So on behalf of that family, this was something very important to them to change this. Thank you, and I totally support this amendment.
The bill is heading to the Florida Senate. Both pieces of legislation aim to make sure that what happened to Mary Gingles, David Ponzer, and Andrew Farron never happens again. It never should have happened in the first place. For Law&Crime Investigates, I'm Kristen Thorne.